The DC English Podcast.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the DC English Podcast. I'm Nora.
And I'm Noah. Welcome back to your favorite place to learn real American English.
This is the podcast where we talk like real people, share real stories, and help you get 1% better every day.
Exactly. No complicated rules, just natural English to help you feel comfortable and confident.
Noah, before we start today's topic, I have to ask, you keep looking down at your phone every 2 minutes. Are you waiting for an important message?
I am, actually. I'm waiting for a phone call from my younger brother, Saeed. I told him to call me the exact second he gets an update.
An update? What is happening with Saeed today?
He has his very first professional interview tomorrow morning at a big accounting firm. We actually spent 3 hours yesterday shopping at the mall to buy him a professional suit and a nice tie.
Oh, wow, that's huge news. I'm so happy for him. So why is he calling you right now?
Because he still doesn't know if the interview's in person at the downtown office or if it's a video call on Zoom. The recruiter was supposed to email him the final details an hour ago.
Oh, that is incredibly stressful. Those are two very different types of interviews.
Exactly. He called me this morning in a total panic. He asked me, if it's a Zoom interview, do I still have to wear the new suit we bought?
And what did you tell him?
I told him, yes, you absolutely have to wear the suit. And I told him to make sure he wears the suit pants, too. You never know if you have to stand up to grab a piece of paper on camera.
That is very good advice. You do not want to do a professional interview in your pajama pants. How is he feeling about everything?
He's absolutely terrified. He's sweating, he's overthinking his answers, and he's completely nervous.
That's completely normal. I actually remember my very first interview to become a teacher. My hands were literally shaking while I was driving my car to the elementary school.
Really? You always seem so calm and perfectly prepared for absolutely everything.
I was definitely not calm that day. In fact, I spilled my travel mug of coffee all over my new dress right before I walked into the principal's office.
Oh no, that's a total nightmare. What did you do?
I had to wear my heavy winter coat during the entire interview just to hide the coffee stain. It was terrible.
Job interviews are incredibly stressful. You sit in a room with strangers and they judge everything you say.
Exactly. It's so much pressure. And for our listeners who are learning English, an interview in a second language is twice as terrifying. You have to remember your professional skills and your English vocabulary at the exact same time.
It's a massive challenge, but the good news is there are a few simple rules that work in almost every English-speaking country. If you follow the rules, it takes away a lot of the fear.
That's exactly why I wanted to talk about this today. I gave Saeed a lot of advice yesterday at the mall, but I want to see if you agree with my strategies.
I'm ready. I love giving advice. What was the very first rule you told him? I told him about the rule of time. I looked at him and said, if you're exactly on time, you're actually late.
Oh, yes. That's a very classic American business rule.
Yes, if the interview is scheduled for 9 o'clock and you walk in the front door at exactly 9 o'clock, the manager's already waiting for you, and you never want to make the manager wait.
Waiting makes managers very anxious. So what time did you tell him to arrive if it's an in-person interview?
I told Saeed to arrive at the front desk exactly 15 minutes early. Not 5 minutes and not 30 minutes.
And what if Saeed's interview is on Zoom tomorrow? What is the rule for a video call?
For Zoom, I told him to sit at his desk and test his camera and microphone 15 minutes early. Then log into the meeting room exactly 5 minutes before it starts.
Oh, that's perfect advice. Arriving early shows that you are punctual.
Punctual. That's a great vocabulary word. It means you always arrive exactly when you promise to arrive.
Yes, being punctual shows deep respect for the other person's time. Okay, so that's rule number 1. What else did you tell him?
Well, we were eating lunch at the mall, and I asked him what he actually knew about the accounting firm, and he just stared at me with a blank face.
Oh no, did he know anything about the company he was interviewing for?
He knew the name of the company, and he knew they were hiring an accountant. That was literally it.
Noah, that is definitely not enough information for a professional interview.
I know. I told him he had to do his homework before he walked into that room tomorrow.
To do your homework. That's a great idiom. For our listeners, that doesn't mean actual high school math homework, does it?
No, in the business world, doing your homework just means doing your research. You have to prepare.
Right. You have to open their website, you have to read the About Us page, you have to understand what they actually sell or what services they provide.
Exactly. If you show up to an interview and you know absolutely nothing about the company, it looks like you don't actually care about the job. It looks like you're just desperate for any job.
It shows a lack of effort. You always want to look like you chose their specific company on purpose.
Yes, choosing them on purpose. I love how you phrase that. That's exactly how you want to make them feel.
So, Saeed promised to do his research. What happened next in your practice session?
Well, then we were practicing the most famous and the most dangerous interview question in the entire world.
Let me guess. Tell me about yourself.
Yes, the interviewer always smiles, looks down at your paper resume, looks back up at you, and says, "So, tell me about yourself."
And it's a trick. I always tell my students it is a complete trick question.
Wait, why do you say it's a trick? It sounds so friendly and simple.
Because when nervous people hear that friendly question, they start telling their entire life story. They talk about their childhood, their pets, their hobbies, and their favorite foods.
That's exactly what Saeed did. We were sitting in the food court and he started telling me all about his high school soccer team and his favorite video games.
See? Everyone does it. It's a natural human reaction. But the hiring manager doesn't want to know about your high school soccer team. They're just trying to break the ice.
Right, they want to know your professional story. I told Saeed they just want the highlight reel.
The highlight reel. What a great phrase. What does that mean for our language learners?
Think about a sports game on television. A highlight reel is a short video that only shows the best, most exciting, and most important moments of the game. It completely skips all the boring parts.
Oh, I love that picture. So when they say, tell me about yourself, you only give them your professional highlights.
Exactly. You give them a quick summary. You tell them what you studied in school, a quick sentence about your last job, and why you're excited to be sitting in that chair today. That's it.
That's a perfect formula. It keeps you focused, and it should only take about 1 or 2 minutes to answer.
Keep it short and sweet. If you talk for 5 minutes about your childhood, they will definitely stop listening. We're going to talk about the hardest interview question of all right after this short break. Stick around, everyone.
Welcome back to part 2, everyone. Before the break, Noah and I were talking about how to survive a job interview without panicking.
Yes, my brother Saeed is waiting for a phone call about his big interview tomorrow, and we were talking about keeping your answers short. But Nora, eventually the manager always asks about your weaknesses.
Yes, the weakness question. It's hard for everyone. Nobody likes sitting in a room and talking about the things they're bad at.
They always look at you and ask, "What is your biggest weakness?" And Saeed looked at me and confidently said, "My biggest weakness is that I work too hard. I just care too much about my job."
Oh no, the classic fake weakness. I work too hard. I'm just too perfect.
Yes, I told him he absolutely can't say that. The hiring managers hear that exact answer 10 times a day, and they usually roll their eyes.
It sounds a little bit dishonest. When you give a fake weakness like that, it sounds like you're hiding something real. It feels like a cliche.
So what's the best way to answer the weakness question without looking bad?
You have to be honest, but you also have to show them exactly how you're fixing the problem. You show them the weakness, and then you show them the solution.
Give me an example. How would you answer it if you were interviewing for a teaching job today?
I would say something like, honestly, sometimes I struggle with public speaking. I get very nervous when I have to present a project to a large crowd of other teachers.
Okay, that's a very honest, real weakness. A lot of people have that fear. But how do you save it? How do you make it sound positive?
Then I immediately say, so last month I signed up for a communication workshop to practice speaking in front of strangers. I'm actively trying to improve my skills.
That's brilliant. You admit a small human flaw, but you show them you're already taking action to fix it.
Exactly. Managers don't expect you to be a perfect robot. They just want to know that you're self-aware and that you're willing to grow and learn.
I'm going to remind Saeed to use that exact strategy. It's so much better than saying I work too hard.
Please do. You could also say something like, I sometimes struggle with time management, so I started using a digital calendar to plan my day, and it's helped me a lot.
That's perfect. Now, what about the behavioral questions, the ones where they ask you to tell a specific story from your past?
Tell a story? You mean like, tell me about a time you made a mistake at work, or tell me about a time you had a conflict with a coworker?
Yes, those questions can be terrifying. People usually start rambling because they're nervous and they don't have a plan.
Rambling. That's a great vocabulary word. That means talking on and on without a clear point, right?
Exactly. You start telling a story, you add too many details, you go in circles, and eventually you completely forget the original question.
I definitely ramble when I'm nervous. My stories get very confusing. How do we stop doing that in an interview?
You have to give your story a clear, simple structure. We call it the PAR method. Problem, action, result.
Problem, action, result. Okay, break that down for me. Give me an example from your teaching job. What's the first step?
First, you set the scene by explaining the problem very quickly. For example, my classroom was very noisy and the third grade students wouldn't focus on their math test.
Okay, the problem is clear. Then what's next?
Second, you tell them the action you took to solve it. What did you personally do? For example, I created a new quiet time reward system and rearranged the desks so the students weren't facing each other.
I like that. It shows practical leadership. And finally, the result?
Yes, you tell them how the story ended. As a result, the students calmed down and our math scores increased by 10% that month. Problem, action, result.
That makes it so simple. It stops you from rambling and keeps the story moving forward. It shows the manager that you're organized and that you can solve problems under pressure.
Saeed is going to be so prepared, but there is one more trap at the very end of the interview, the final test.
Ah, the final question. When they close their notebooks, look at you and say, well, do you have any questions for us?
Yes, and Saeed told me he was just going to say, no thank you, you explained everything perfectly today.
Oh no, he absolutely can't say no. That's the worst thing you can do.
I told him the exact same thing at the mall. You can never, ever say no to that question.
For our listeners who might not know, why is it so dangerous to say no?
Because an interview is a two-way street. If you don't ask any questions, it looks like you aren't actually interested in the daily reality of the job. It just looks like you want to run out the door and go home.
Exactly. It shows a complete lack of curiosity. You should always have at least 2 thoughtful questions prepared in your mind before you walk in the building.
What are some good, safe questions an English learner could ask at the end of an interview?
One of my absolute favorite questions is, what does a typical day look like in this role?
Oh, that's very good. It forces the manager to stop reading the official job description and explain the real, messy daily work to you.
Yes, it gives you a clear picture of what you'll actually be doing. Another great one is, what is your personal favorite part about working for this company?
Oh, people love talking about themselves. That question makes the manager smile and feel good about their own job.
Exactly. It ends the stressful interview on a very positive, warm, human note.
You know, talking through all of this with you makes me realize something really important about the whole process.
What's that?
An interview isn't an interrogation. They aren't the police trying to shine a bright light in your face and catch you making a grammar mistake.
That's a beautiful way to look at it. It's just a conversation between 2 normal people to see if they're a good match for a team.
Exactly. The company has a problem they need to solve, and they are genuinely hoping you are the answer. They actually want you to succeed when you walk in the room.
They really do. If you're sitting in that chair, they already like your resume. They just want to meet the human being behind the piece of paper.
So, to all of our listeners who have a big interview coming up, take a deep breath.
Arrive early, do your homework, keep your stories organized with the problem, action, result method, and remember that you belong in that room just as much as anyone else.
Oh, my phone is buzzing. It's Saeed. I have to take this.
Go answer it. And if you're listening at home, we know you're going to do great this week, no matter what challenges you're facing.
Don't forget to check the description below the video to download today's free practice guide.
Remember, learning a language is just about getting 1% better every day. You are doing better than you think.
So be kind to yourself, keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.